This is derivatives with Sahai, Camille, Isis, and Chloe.
A derivative is the slope of a tangent line. A derivative of f of x with respect to x is the function f prime x and is defined as f prime x equals the limit as h approaches 0 of x times x plus h minus f of x over h.
To find the derivative of a point, you use the equation f of a plus h minus f of a over h. So for this, the example is f of x equals x squared plus 2x. So you say the limit of f of x as h approaches 0 is a plus h squared minus 2a plus h, because you substitute a plus h wherever there's an x in your equation. And you subtract that from a squared plus 2a because you're substituting a into wherever there's an x in the equation. So that gives you a squared plus ah plus h squared plus 2a plus 2h minus a squared minus 2a, which equals 2ah plus h squared plus 2h over h. And then you factor out the h from the numerator, so you get h times 2a plus h plus 2 over h. When you cancel out the h's, you get 2a plus h plus 2. And since h is approaching 0, you can just take the h out. So your final answer is 2a plus 2. Another method of taking the derivative is finding the derivative by the power rule. And this is saying that f prime of x equals nx with the exponent of n minus 1. So for example 1, says f prime x equals 2x to the 5th. So you take the 5 that's in the exponent and you multiply it down to the constant. So you get 5 times 2, and that's with x to the 5th minus 1 if you subtract 1 from the exponent, which gives you 10x to the 4th. In the second example, you have f prime of x equals 1 over x to the 4th, and you can make this x to the negative 4th power. You do the same thing you did in the first example, so you bring the negative 4 down, which gives you negative 4x, and then you subtract 1 from your exponent of negative 4, which gives you negative 4x to the negative 5th power. And you can just simplify this by saying negative 4 over x to the 5th.
The product rule states that if two functions, f of x and g of x, are differentiable, i.e. the derivative exists, then the product is differentiable. And f times g equals f prime times g plus f times g prime. An example we use is y equals x cubed plus 7x minus 1 times 5x plus 2. F of x is x cubed plus 7x minus 1, and g of x is 5x plus 2. First, you find the derivative of g of x and f of x. The derivative of f of x is 3x squared plus 7, and the derivative of g of x is 5. Then, you multiply the equation using f prime times g plus f times g prime. And you get 15x cubed plus 6x squared plus 35x plus 14 plus 5x cubed plus 35x minus 5. And the answer, after you add like terms, is 20x cubed plus 6x squared plus 70x plus 9.
The quotient rule is used when you're dividing a derivative instead of multiplying in the product rule. So basically the formula states that you can put f prime x times g of x minus f of x times g prime of x over g of x squared, and you get the derivative. So an example is the derivative of x to the 5th over x squared. So you plug in f prime and g prime into the equation, and you also plug in regular f of x and regular g of x, and you get 5x to the 4th times x squared minus x to the 5th times 2x, all over x to the 4th. So then you get 5x to the 6th minus 2x to the 6th over x to the 4th, and you simplify all the way to this. And you get 3x to the 4th times x squared over x to the 4th plus 1, which simplifies to 3x squared over 1, which equals 3x squared. So the chain rule is used to find the derivative of the composition of two functions. So if d of f over dy equals dy over dx times du over dx is one way to say it, or y prime equals y prime times u prime. So by definition, d of y over d of x times f times g of x equals f prime g of x times g of x g prime x. So For example, you can differentiate y equals 4 times x cubed plus 5 all squared by plugging in the outside function first to by plugging in the inside to the outside function. So you do 4 times the inside function squared. Then you put in the derivative of the outside function, which is 4, and you have 2 times 4 because you move the 2 to the other side. And so it's 4 times 2. So it's 8. So the inside equals x cubed plus 5. And the derivative of the inside equals 3x squared. So you multiply all three equations and you get 8x cubed plus 5 times 3x squared equals 24x to the 5th plus 120x squared, which is the answer.